welcome. All right. Live stream once again. That's 2 live streams, 2 Fridays in a row. Can you guys even believe it? Well, welcome everyone to the live stream. Just like last year, we are doing Crosstalk's holiday gift guide for 2018. So I hope you guys all enjoy it. Now, the purpose of this guide is to give you some ideas about tech gifts that you can give tech-oriented people or non-techie people that you just want to give them a technical gift. So I hope you guys enjoy this guide. And we're going to get to it in just a minute, but before we get to it, I did want to mention that we do have Crosstalk t-shirts available for anyone that's interested. They are 10% off. You can use the link down below, and you can get 10% off with the coupon code LIVESTREAM, all one word. That is only good for this actual live stream. So hope you guys can pop in there and pick up a Crosstalk t-shirt. That's not one of the holiday gifts on the holiday gift guide, but it is something that you want to support the channel. Grab a t-shirt, and I think they look pretty cool. Okay, so what else? Join our Discord. So Crosstalk has an official Discord. We do community-based help for free PBX and networking, stuff like that, as well as just general chat. And we have some fun on there. I also announce all the videos that come out on YouTube. Sometimes I announce them ahead of time. What is going on? Stop with this music. All right. You know it's Christmas time when all of the music is Christmas music, right? Well, anyways. Okay, so join our Discord. You can join our Discord at https://discord.io/crosstalk. Okay, and so again, that link is down in the description below for anyone interested in that. Okay, so let's see. Let's get on to the holiday gift guide. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bust through this holiday gift guide. I'm going to go in order from the least expensive to the most expensive. And once I'm done with the gift guide, then I will stick around and answer questions or talk to people for about the next 30 minutes or so after the gift guide is done. Interestingly enough, it's I don't know if something's going wrong, but there's only 2 people watching right now. If you guys can see this okay, if everything seems fine, give me a thumbs up or a hello in the chat so that I can see that. Usually by this time we have a lot more people watching than 2 people, but maybe it's just that it's a Friday afternoon. Maybe everyone's already checked out. There we go. Humbert says hello. Dr. White says hello. Oh, yeah, there's a lot more people than it's there's a lot more people on than it's telling me. It's telling me there's only 2 people watching. Anyways, all right. Well, hi from Sweden. Hello, everyone. Again, I will get to your questions, your comments, and I will stick around for a while once I'm done with the holiday gift guide. But let's hop right into it. So for 2018, our holiday gift guide is going to start with the least expensive item. And that is going to be private internet access. So there's only 2 things on this list that I had on my list last year. And one of the things is private internet access. This is a wonderful gift that you can give. If you give someone a subscription to this, a year subscription, or even just, buy them a month or 2. I mean, it's so important now to have a VPN proxy service. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be private internet access. There's a ton of great services out there. If you guys have any recommendations, put those in the comments right above my head here. And, other people can see that. I know there's like NordVPN is really popular. There's some other ones out there. But which ones do you guys use? I know private internet access is the one that I use personally. I love their app. I use it on my phone. Anywhere I'm out and about, I always have private internet access on. It's also really easy to use here on my desktop. You basically just, pop it on and say connect to whichever data center you want to connect to. There are some problems with it every once in a while. Well, I kind of have a slow connection. I just disconnect from that data center and connect to a different data center, and then it works perfectly fine. But the bottom line is, 2018, you guys should all be using a VPN proxy. If you're not using a VPN proxy service, this is a perfect opportunity to sign up for one. Private internet access, again, is the one that I use. It's the one that I like. And I've used them for, I've probably had a private internet access subscription for easily 3 years now. And they've always been a really rock solid service that I've actually just never had a problem with. I don't think I've ever even had to contact them about anything or anything like that. So, okay, so on with the gift guide. And again, we're going from the least expensive to the most expensive. And this second item here is the only other item that I also had on my list from last year, and that is the Energizer LED headlamp. And like, what an awesome stocking stuffer this thing is. $12.49 on Amazon, 333 customer reviews, 4.5 stars. And I've got mine right here. This is the one that I use. Mine's actually really old. You can see it looks a lot different than the one that's in the picture there, because mine is probably 5 or 6 years old. This thing's great, you know. I use this all the time, especially at this time of year when here in North America, you know, the sun is setting at like, you know, 5 p.m., right? So when I go to take the trash out on Thursday nights, you know, it's already dark by the time I'm out there doing that. So I use my headlamp. We got the red mode and then 3 different white light modes. And yeah, the batteries last a long time. It tilts down forward like this so that you can put it on the ground ahead of you as you're walking. I take this thing camping. I take this thing hiking. I just toss it in my bag wherever I go. Mine is beat to crap. I should actually probably get a new one. And yeah, what a cool little product. I can't recommend it highly enough. And a lot of people don't have these headlamps, and it's like, you don't really know how useful they are until you actually get it. That's the other point of this gift guide is a lot of items that you don't know how useful they are until you actually get them. Okay, so this one takes 3 AAA batteries, and I think it comes in a couple other colors too. There's like a red one and a blue one, and then this green one here. But yeah, there's a ton of these headlamps on the market too, but this is the one that I use. It's the Energizer model. Okay, let's move on to the next gift in the gift guide, and that is going to be, okay, perfect. So this is actually something that I want to buy for myself. In fact, I'm going to add it to my cart. Add to cart. There we go. All right, let me go back. Okay, so this is the Black & Decker BDCSFL20C 4-volt max lithium-ion light driver cordless screwdriver. Okay, so that thing is, this thing looks gnarly. Now I have a really nice cordless drill, right, for, you know, drilling into walls and, you know, screwing, that sort of stuff. Screwing, you know what I mean, screwing a screwdriver, you guys. But what I don't have is a tiny compact screwdriver for, you know, screwing into like computer cases and stuff. So like screwing down a motherboard, something where you can maybe adjust the torque so that it's not, you know, stripping screws and stuff like that. And this one looks like a really cool one. It's got 691 customer reviews, 4 stars on Amazon, and I like that the handle is, you know, it sort of articulates, and you can bend it down and get it into different angles and stuff. This one doesn't come with any drill bits, but there are, like if you go down here where it says frequently bought together, there are drill bits down below, both drills as well as screwdriver bits. And, you know, Black & Decker is a great brand. You know, they should last forever, or at least a very long time. And I think this is a rechargeable lithium-ion power. So you basically just run the battery out, plug it back in. Now, the reason I got this particular model is because of this flashlight on the front, right? So I'm always doing work inside computer cases. And to me, the flashlight seems like a really good idea. The only thing that I'm not sure about with this flashlight, maybe you guys can say in the comments, the only thing I'm not sure about is whether the flashlight's a little too obtrusive. So if that's the case, I also put on the list, down in the links below, links to all this stuff down below in the description, by the way, I also put on the list this little Black & Decker without the flashlight, right? So this is a 3.6 volt version. It's a little bit weaker in terms of the battery power, but it should be fine for like light duty computer work and stuff like that. This one looks like it'll fit into many more places because it doesn't have that light on the front. But I would probably get this one myself, and it's only $19.88 for this screwdriver. Then of course you'd want to buy, you know, the bits too. So either the flashlight version or the non-flashlight version. Let me know which version you guys would buy if you were going to get this one, or if you have this, let me know what you think of it. Okay, so along those same lines, if you're going to be working on computers, if you have computer people, or if you're like a manager This is a great gift for managers to give to their employees, especially if you work in IT and you have a bunch of IT people working underneath you. There we go. So this is the 80-in-1 precision screwdriver set with magnetic driver kit. And this comes with every screwdriver you could possibly ever want for working on electronics, including computers, iPhones, Androids, tablets, anything that you need to possibly open, you're going to be able to open with this kit. And the reason that I chose this kit is because it is $22.89. It's relatively inexpensive. It's probably not the best quality kit that you could possibly buy, but it has pretty much everything that you would need, and it's a great little gift for, like I said, a technician who's working on computers all the time or working on electronics all the time. Now, along these same lines, they have the iFixit Pro Tech Toolkit. Now, the iFixit Pro Tech Toolkit is very similar. It has a couple of extra things, like this little suction cup that you get, and things like that. It's a very similar kit, but this is probably a much more well-made kit. I imagine that the iFixit stuff is a much better quality. It also has a lifetime warranty on the iFixit kit. So again, the cheap kit, it's almost the same thing, $22.89 on Amazon, 4.5 stars, 360 customer reviews. Or take it a step up, the iFixit kit is $64.99 on Amazon, but it's 4.5 stars, 588 customer reviews. So again, for tech people, you got to have one of these things. I actually would love to have this iFixit kit myself. I might put that on my Amazon wish list here. Okay, so let's see. What else do we have? Next on the list. I just bought one of these myself. And I only put it on this list because I didn't realize how much I was going to like it. So we had a bathroom scale, and the bathroom scale that we had it just wasn't working very much anymore. It was, the batteries were wearing out too fast on it. It seemed to be like when you weigh yourself, it was sort of up and down. You'd step off and step back on. It would be a different weight, etc. So we decided to get a new bathroom scale. And I took a chance on this one because it had 4.5 stars out of 5,304 customer reviews, and it was only $27.99. I was pretty impressed by that. Now, I was like, all right, well, we'll try it. We'll try it. Oh, and by the way, yeah, if you guys want to guess how much I weigh, put that in the comments, and if anyone's correct, I will tell you. This little device connects with Bluetooth to an app on your phone. And so if you've got multiple people with the app, whomever has the app on and close to the scale, when you step on the scale, it basically takes all of your information, your weight, your BMI, your who knows what. I mean, there's a whole 11 essential measurements, it says, and everything pops right into that app. So not only do you get a scale where you can step on it and see your weight, I mean, you can just see your weight right on the scale itself, but all of that information goes into the app, and then it tracks it so that you can see over time if you're losing weight or gaining weight, and you can set goals for yourself. And man, I'm just super, super impressed with this Renpho bathroom scale. It's also syncs with Apple Health, Google Fit, and Fitbit. And the one that I got was the white one. So I got this one here. The black one is $27.99. The white one is $29.99. But again, really, really good. Now, word to the wise, or word of warning. And by the way, someone asked if you could do metric or imperial on this scale. You can choose either one. You can make it metric or you can make it imperial. Word to the wise, though, if you are going to be giving, for instance, your significant other a gift, this might not be the one to give. You don't want to give someone a scale. I don't know. I was thinking about that. Like, I don't think I'd want to give my wife this scale. That probably might be like, what are you trying to say here? What are you trying to say? So anyways, just think about that before you actually give this gift. But maybe buy it for yourself, because this thing is absolutely awesome, especially if you're, conscious of taking your weight and stuff. So we've had some guesses in the chat, by the way. Someone said 183 pounds. Another person said 185 pounds. You guys are both very close. very close, but I'm actually 188 pounds as of this morning when I weighed myself on this Renpho scale. Okay, let's go on to the next item on the list, and the next item on the list is, oh my god, this is awesome. Okay, so this is the Ounce, I think that's how you say it, Ounce Angle 3 Ultra. Now, I have one of these. I've had it for probably 2 years, and I absolutely love this little Bluetooth speaker. All right, I take it outside with me when I'm working in the yard, or if I'm just taking out the trash. I can put it in it literally slips right in the back pocket. If you're wearing jeans, it fits in your back pocket, and it's got amazing sound. It's fully, it's not waterproof, but like I've had it out in the rain a lot, and it's totally fine. God, I love this little Bluetooth speaker. So if you guys are looking for a relatively cost-effective Bluetooth speaker that sounds great, it's super rugged. Again, mine is beat to crap, and it still works perfect. The Bluetooth pairs on it very, very easily. You have a few controls here. Whoops. Oh, you have a few controls here for play, next track, etc. Bluetooth, volume up, volume down, and power. Very simple. It does have a microphone built in too, so you could actually use this as a speakerphone. And yeah, $34.99 on Amazon, and that is out of $34.99, 4.5 stars, 2,360 customer reviews. And I would give this thing 5 stars. I absolutely, absolutely love this little Bluetooth speaker. It's amazing. Let's see, deep, rich bass. I mean, look, it's a tiny little Bluetooth speaker. I wouldn't expect too much bass out of it, but the thing is awesome. Incredible wireless range. Now, the wireless range, I find it works best when I just have my phone sitting right next to it. So I just put my phone down next to it, and then I walk off and I work in the garage or work outside or whatever. And then if I get a call or a text message, I can hear it through the speaker. Like it'll lower the volume of the music and it'll go ding or whatever, and then the music comes back up. So I can hear when I have a notification. And then let's see. Play your music wirelessly to a pair. Oh, you can pair them up? That I did not know. Oh, I might have to buy a second one of these. Oh, that's really cool. You can actually get 2 of them up to 100 feet apart and pair them up for left channel, right channel stereo separation. That's amazing. I didn't know it could do that. Wow. Splash proof, so IPX6 water resistant. And then blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, I love this thing. I can't say enough about this Ounce Angle 3 Ultra. $34.99, absolutely a great value. And honestly, who can't use a Bluetooth speaker? Okay, let's move on to the next item on the list. The next item on the list. Okay, so this is a security item. Okay, so this is going to be for someone who's like pretty techie. But I saw this thing online, and this is basically a sort of a 2-factor authentication for anything, really. I think it's for a lot of services online. Like there's a ton of services that you can just turn into 2-factor authentication with this device. And basically it plugs into USB. And when you log onto your computer, you have to have this plugged in order to log on your computer. Or you have to use, or to log into many of the sites that they list that are compatible with this thing. And actually, so this is the Yubikey 4. Let me know, by the way, if you guys have one of these, because I'm really curious how it works or how well it works. It looks like a really promising product. It's got 4 stars, 279 customer reviews. It's only $40. However, there is a newer version out, which is only on their website, which is the Yubikey 5 NFC. So for $5 more, I would actually, they don't have this on Amazon, but I would actually go onto the Yubikey website and buy it. And it has not only the USB-A connection, but it has NFC now too. So basically you can just, to log in, you can hold it close to your phone, and with NFC, that's how it will do the authentication. So yeah, really cool. Water and crush resistant. They have a USB Type-C version as well. But yeah, yeah, and someone just mentioned in comments that you need a pair of them. So I would say that's probably not a bad idea. In fact, I believe they sell them in 2-packs, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, buy online. Buy now. Yeah, 2-pack. So they have a 2-pack for $90. This is probably what I would do. And then you've got a pair of them that you could have one as a backup. You keep it on your keychain, and then you can just plug it into your computer, or you NFC it to your phone, and you can give yourself really secure authentication kind of all over the place, which is, to me, a really good idea. And I think I'm going to order a pair of these for myself. And maybe I'll do a video review on them. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing a video on this thing. Along those same lines, so that's, by the way, that's $40 on Amazon or $45 per unit if you get them directly from Yubikey.com. Okay, so along those same lines, this is also something that I've been interested in recently, is just a straight up fingerprint scanner for the computer, right? So just to log into the computer, having a fingerprint scanner is a really nice sort of two-factor authentication. You know, I'm getting so used to using the Touch ID on the iPhone that it's like I wanna have that same sort of like Touch ID type thing for my computer, for my regular computer here, so that when I step away and it goes to, you know, it sort of logs out after a few minutes, I can come back and just hit the fingerprint scanner and log it back in instead of having to type my password or whatever. Like, that would be awesome. Now, I don't know a lot about fingerprint readers or which ones are good or which ones are bad. I did a little bit of research, and if I was going to buy one, this is the one that I would buy. This is $67.95. It's the Verify P2000 Premium Metal Fingerprint Reader for Windows 7/8/10. 4 stars, 232 Amazon reviews. So yeah, this is another one. So along those same lines, I just want to I want to secure my own computer a little bit better. So I would probably buy the Yubikey first and try it out and see how it works. But then I also might want this fingerprint scanner for my desktop. I could just have it plugged into my computer here. Okay, so there you go. And also, by the way, this fingerprint scanner, it works with RoboForm. So I don't know if any of you guys use RoboForm. I don't use RoboForm. I use LastPass as my password, you know, what is that called? What kind of service is that? Password manager? Yeah, password manager. So if you have this Verify P2000, it works with RoboForm. So like if you ever get asked for a password on Netflix or Google or you know, Twitter or whatever, you can just scan your fingerprint to enter your password, which is kind of nice. Okay, so moving on, we're up to $67. We're up to the more expensive stuff at this point, but we are moving right along. Let's go into the next thing on my list here, and this is the Tile Pro. So I thought this was a really cool little gift, just because it would be nice to give this to someone who tends to lose their stuff all the time. Like you lose your keys, or if your wife, you know, forgets where she put her purse or something like that. It would be nice to have a little 2-pack of these tiles, and it's just a little tiny little. I don't know what technology it uses. It must be some sort of what technology does this use? It's not Bluetooth, right? I don't know. Anyways, basically the notion is you hit a button on your smartphone or something, and this thing starts beeping, or maybe it shows you where you are on a map. I don't know exactly how it works, but I've always wanted one of these. Okay, so here we go. It shows you on the app exactly where your stuff is. Oh, it is Bluetooth. Someone says it is Bluetooth, and they say they've been a Tile user for years. It works well. Very cool. So yeah, I've always wanted to know what this is. Now, it does integrate with Amazon Alexa or the Google Assistant. I don't use either of those types of devices, but if you guys do, this will integrate with those. And yeah, I mean, what a cool little product this is. I've heard about these for years. I've always wanted to try them out. Yeah, put them on your keys or put them on something important, your backpack or whatever, and there you go. Tile, yeah. $59.99 for a 2-pack of those things. Okay, next on the list. Okay, cool. GPS, right? This is like, I love GPSs. I've always had a GPS. This is the one that I have, okay? So this is the Garmin GPS Map 64ST. $222 on Amazon, 4 stars, 966 customer reviews. Now, a GPS is great, especially if you're an outdoors person, if you're hiking a lot, if you're camping. It's always nice to have a GPS. And in fact, not this GPS, but a different GPS that I used to have. I think it was also, no, it wasn't a Garmin, it was a Magellan. My old one was a Magellan, just a black and white display Magellan. My old one actually saved me one time. I was up hiking in Palm Springs, up on top of a mountain somewhere, and I was geocaching. I do a lot of geocaching, especially with my kids now that they're getting of geocaching age. We like to go out and do geocaching. But I was actually with my dad doing some geocaching out in the wilderness, and we got off of the trail and literally got completely lost. We tried to find this geocache, we got completely lost, and the GPS saved our butts because it has a little track that shows you where you've been. So not only were we able to figure out exactly where we are, we could see where we've been, we just backtracked and we were able to find our way back. But man, we would have been wandering around in the wilderness for hours if we did not have the GPS on us. So this one's really nice. This is a full color display. It actually has, if you guys like geocaching, this device has geocaching built into it. So you can see where it says geocaches. Now, it's not live. That's the only complaint that I have about it. I wish you could somehow plug this thing in, or maybe like if there was a desktop app where you could plug it in and it would actually connect to the geocaching website, especially if you like had a login. Like I subscribe to the geocaching website, the official website. If you could actually plug this in and have it download the latest geocaches in like, say, a 100-mile radius of you or something like that, that would be really awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. There are a number of geocaches built into this thing, but the built-in geocaches are worthless because geocaches change all the time. I mean, it's a constantly updating thing, right? You geocaches go away, new geocaches come in, etc. But what you can do is you can run a search in an area for geocaches and then plug this in with USB and then upload the search results into this Garmin. So when I'm going to go out and we know we're going to be geocaching in a certain area, I will basically run a search on all of the geocaches in that area in like a 10-mile radius or something. I will save that search and then I will upload the search into the Garmin and then I have it in here. Now, speaking of geocaching, if you guys are doing geocaching, you can absolutely do geocaching straight from your phone. It works fine. You can get the geocaching app and your phone's GPS will work, and I've found a ton of geocaches using just my phone. But this is so much more accurate, right? So especially areas where the GPS in the phone is just no good, yeah, this is way, way, way better. I had, case in point, I did a geocache out here on the Oregon coast not that long ago, and we were walking around in circles with the phone, because the phone only has about accuracy to about 30 yards, whereas this is accurate to about 5 yards. Okay, so we were walking around with the phone trying to figure out where this one geocache is, and we were like way off. It was like 20 feet off. And it wasn't even like tree cover or anything. It was like a wide open area. So I ran back to my car, and I got the Garmin instead, and I plugged in the GPS coordinates of the cache, and boom, we found it like almost immediately after I did that. So this is just way, way, way more accurate than the phone is if you're serious about geocaching. Or if you just want a nice GPS, this is a really, really nice GPS. Okay, so let's move on to the next item on the list. Oh, look at that. You purchased this item on July 27th. There you go. You guys can see that I, in fact, am the owner of this exact device that I'm recommending because I've used it a lot and I absolutely love it. Okay, let's move on. Oh my gosh, this thing. There was a video, if you guys watch iJustine, she does, tech reviews like Marquez Brownlee and those in that sort of vein. She just did a video on this DJI Osmo Pocket. And this thing is so amazing. Go check out her video on it. It's this super compact, small, like look how small this thing is. Like see the girl there? Here, I'll hover over it. Look how small this is. Maybe that's a very small woman, but it's still, the size of this thing is ridiculously small. No, I'm sorry, maybe she's a very large woman that makes it look smaller. Anyways, but yeah, this thing is amazing. So this is a 3-axis stabilized gimbal that can do 4K video at 60 frames per second, and it's this size. Okay, You can also hook it to your phone, right? So basically, it comes with adapters for either iPhone or Android. So you can basically just plug it into your phone, and now you have a 3-axis gimbal recording 4K video from your phone. You can use your phone as the display screen for it. And it has these crazy, crazy features like face tracking. Like you can walk all around the thing and it will literally stay tracked to your nose as you're walking around it. Like, it's unbelievable, the features of this this little DJI Osmo Pocket. Now, I don't have one of these, but I really, really want one, and I have literally no need for it. I don't actually need it for anything, but I did put it on my Amazon wish list. So, yeah, this thing's just amazing. When I saw this camera, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have that. So it's, yeah, mechanical stabilization, 3-axis gimbal. I mean, man, this thing's awesome. Go look up some of the videos that people have been reviewing this thing, and you will see what I mean. It's just absolutely incredible, incredible product. $349. Now, they have kits where you can buy like the DJI Osmo plus an SD card. Like, I think they come with like a 32 gig SD card. Don't get a 32 gig SD card for this thing. You are going to blow out that space in 2 seconds with this device. You want a 128 gig micro SD card or bigger. It will actually accept up to a 256 gig micro SD card. Holy mackerel. So yeah, I'm excited about this product just because I want one myself. All right, so let's move on to the last product. This is my sort of blow out the doors if you want to buy someone a crazy, ridiculous gift that no one needs, but it's very expensive. Here we go. So any of these virtual reality systems, all right? So the Oculus Rift is the one that I would probably buy just because it's $100 cheaper, and I don't really need one of these. But man, how much fun would it be to have a little VR goggles that you can play with? You know, this is the one that comes with the 2 handheld things. You can play a whole bunch of games with it. I think this one actually comes with, it comes with 6 games, but it also, I'm sure, works with Steam VR and all that sort of good stuff. So any of the games that you get on Steam VR, I think will work with the Oculus Rift. I actually don't know a ton about VR systems, but it's one of those things that, like, man, if I had $1 million, I'd probably buy one of these just to play with it. Someone says, what's wrong with Google Cardboard? Yeah, so there's this one. This is the Oculus Rift. And then there's also the HTC Vive. Wait, where's the HTC Vive? Hang on, let me pull it up. I know, because there's this other one here. Yeah, HTC Vive. HTC Vive is $100 more. And it looks like there's some sort of subscription service for it. Because it says you get 2 months free subscription to something or other. Or maybe the Oculus had a subscription service. Anyways, like I said, I don't know anything about these VR headsets, but man, I'd love to just play with one. I mean, I'd probably just get lost, playing silly games, or even like they have like Google Earth. I believe there's a Google Earth port for it where you can just walk around the street view of Google Earth with this sort of stuff. Man, I would love to have a VR goggle of some sort. Just looks like fun. Like I said, I just want to play with it. If you guys have seen, they have a game where you can actually be on the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise, and you got your goggles on, and you can actually be touching the controls, and someone's the captain and someone's the navigator and that sort of stuff. I don't know, it just seems super fun, and I literally have no time for video games these days. I've been trying to play Red Dead 2, but like I just don't have any time to play it. But yeah, I would love to at least play with one of these and test it out. So there's my list. That is my holiday wish list, my holiday gift guide for 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, if you were just sticking around to watch the gift guide, that part of the video is now over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to the people in the chat here for at least another half hour or so and answer questions and maybe talk about this stuff. If you guys have any feedback on this list or the items on the list, I'd love to hear about it. Put that in the chat now. And yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on. So Brandon was saying, so Brandon, of course, works for Crosstalk, and Brandon says, I bought the same one after my visit and got the new geocaches. So from what I understand, Brandon, the geocaches, can I edit this view? No. The geocaches, it comes pre-installed with a ton of geocaches, but I tried to update it, like synchronize it online, and it just doesn't seem to work that way. it seems like in order for me to get new geocaches or ones that I actually want to go visit, I have to run a search on geocaching.com, export the search to, there's a certain type of file that it exports to, and then upload it. And then once I upload it, I mean, it's a really easy process. It uploads right into the device, and then they're available when I click on geocaching. But yeah, that's at least been my experience with it. If you know differently, Brandon, hit me up on Discord. And let's talk about Discord one more time for a second here. Let's see. Can we bring this over here? Yeah, we should be able to bring this over here. All right, so there's our Discord. Anyone who happens to be on Discord right now, again, this is https://discord.io/crosstalk. If you are in the Crosstalk Discord right now while you're watching this stream, say hi. Okay, now's your moment. All right, I have the Discord up on the screen. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. You know what? I skipped one. Oh, thank you, David. Oh, there we go. Yeah, everyone's here. Here's the people piling into the Discord chat. I missed one of the items, and it's actually one of my most favorite items that was on the list. Where did that go? Maybe I didn't have it tabbed up. Yeah, I didn't have it tabbed up. That's why I missed it. So let's do this. One more item for the Christmas or the holiday gift guide. It's the BenQ screen bar. I have this thing. It's literally sitting right here, and it is on right next to me. I don't know if you guys can see. I might be able to get my hand in a place where you can actually see it. No, it's too far away. You can kind of see it down here. Anyways, this BenQ screen bar, again, yeah, purchased this item on April 9th, 2018. This thing is unbelievably nice. So what this is it sits on top of your monitor, and it shoots light down in front of your monitor. So this is $99, by the way. 4.5 stars, 93 customer reviews. I would give it 5 stars myself because I love this device. So it makes viewing your computer all day so easy on your eyes, just having this lit up. So you see what it does here is it shoots the light straight down in front of your monitor so that there's no glare. It doesn't go back onto your monitor and glare off of your monitor, and it's also not shooting into your eyes in any way. So it just lights up the desk in front of your monitor, and it lights up my keyboard and, you know, my whole area, like right here, without shooting light in my eyes and without glaring off the monitor. So $99, it has reduced my eye strain from staring at a damn computer all day so much it's not even funny. And it's really nice. I like mine. It goes from like a very white color spectrum to a yellow color spectrum, like a warm yellow color temperature. I like mine sort of just a little bit into the yellow. And yeah, I have this thing on all day, every day when I am using it. Will it work for TVs? I guess if your TV is thin enough, it will, but it's really meant for a computer because you're sitting right in front of it, right? So basically for me, especially when it's overcast outside and there isn't a lot of light coming in from my windows, it just provides the perfect amount of light with no glare, and it really helps my eyes a lot. Okay, so that was the final item on the list. I'm surprised I missed that one because that's probably my favorite thing that I have on this list is this BenQ screen bar. They're absolutely amazing. Here we go. Here's some more people in the Discord chat. Say hello if you guys are on Discord. If you are not on our Discord, join our Discord at https://discord.io/crosstalk. Okay, so let's pop over to some more questions here. What do we have here? So how far does the light cast out from the screen on the desk? Probably from the base of the screen, it's probably about 18 to 24 inches. Of course, that's going to vary how high up your monitor is, but for me, it's probably about 18 inches from where it first hits the desk to where it sort of stops hitting the desk. Okay, Nils G. Fun fact, a Swedish store imported Garmin dog collar GPS devices from the US. The problem was that they broadcast on a military frequency. He had to go get all the devices back from the customers. That's hilarious. All right, so Vincent says, the Black & Decker, I ordered 3 pistol-shaped for my staff. I run an MSP. and quickly learned they are not as good as the straight type in your spaces. Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying the straight. So Vincent, do you have one that you would actually recommend as opposed to the bendy ones that I was looking at? I would love to hear about that. Put that in the comments, and I will pull it up on Amazon. We'll all take a look at it together. Okay, let's see. Andy says, Chris, sent you an email regarding the Yubikeys. Now, that knife that you use to open the boxes, what make and model is it? You're talking about my Switchblade? This thing? Yeah, so I don't know what make and model this is. I bought this knife. It was made in China. It's stainless steel. It's not really sharp because I have never sharpened it. I bought this knife. I must have probably been 14 or 15 years old. I bought this in Mexico when I was down in Tijuana, you know, because I was a 14-year-old kid and I thought it was cool to have a switchblade. So cool to have a switchblade. But yeah, that's where I got this knife. I still use it to this day, but it's not sharp. I don't know any switchblade tricks. If I tried to do some switchblade tricks, I would absolutely cut myself with this thing. Well, I probably wouldn't cut myself because it is not sharp. I guess it's pokey though. I could poke myself with it if I wanted to. But it's a great little box opener. It works well. Okay, any other questions you guys have? Put them in the comments now. Let's talk about it. I'm going to scroll back up a little bit. Who's raging at Astro World Denver? What's Astro World Denver? Hang on a second. Travis Scott brings Astro World to Denver's World. Who's Travis Scott? And what's Astro World Denver? At the top of the rap game, Travis Scott dropped Astro World on all his loyal fans. Now we can reward him by partying at the Pepsi Center. Huh. I don't know what this is. I don't know what Astro World Denver is. All right, there you go. You would be arrested in the UK for that knife. I don't know if that knife is actually legal here in the States either. That's a good question. But again, I bought it in Mexico where it was perfectly legal. It was probably $10 or less, and I bought it easily 30 years ago. Chris, have you played with the Grandstream WP 820 yet? Just got 2 for our office, and the first few minutes seems to be a great phone. Is that the new wireless one? Is that the new Wi-Fi Grandstream? Let me pull that up. Grandstream WP 820. Let's take a look at this thing. WP 820 from Grandstream Networks. Now, I typically don't like Grandstream phones because Grandstream phones don't work with the free PBX phone apps. I've talked to Grandstream about this directly at Astracon. They do not work with the free PBX phone apps because they do not support XML applications, meaning that you can't make these buttons, you can't customize the buttons. That being said, though, for a Wi-Fi phone, you probably don't need them to work with your phone apps because there isn't enough real estate for buttons anyways. Now, the problem with Wi-Fi phones typically is that it's going to be fully dependent on the quality of your Wi-Fi. So if you got crappy Wi-Fi, you're going to have a crappy experience on your Wi-Fi phone. I also have one Wi-Fi phone that I've reviewed in the past, and it was the Incom ICW 2000 or ICW 1000. It was something like that, Incom. And it was a piece of junk. It would lose connectivity to the wireless SSID, and every time it lose connectivity, you'd have to re-enter the WPA password, and you have to do it with like the old school like flip phone method where it's like A, B, C, you have to do 222, you have to basically like do all that sort of stuff. And it was really, really annoying. After like the third time that it lost connectivity to Wi-Fi, I almost just threw it out the window. I literally threw it in a box of phones that I have in my closet, and it's been sitting there ever since. So yeah, I might want to check one of these Grandstreams out. Do you know the price on these? I wonder what the price is on this thing. My guess, if it's Grandstream, my guess is the price is going to be right around $150. Tell me if I'm right on that. Okay, so let's see. Couple other questions here. Let's see. Would love to hear everyone's top. You got to get one of these items. Mine would be a Sonoff Basic. What's a Sonoff Basic? All right. New Google search coming up now. Wi-Fi remote control switch, Sonoff Basic. Let's take a look at this thing. Huh. Wi-Fi smart switch. So is this like a wireless smart switch? So it's basically just a plug that you plug a like lights into and stuff, and then you can control them from your phone. Never come back to a dark house. Oh, that's interesting. You know what's funny is I have on my desk sitting right in front of me this box, which I've been meaning to do a video on. I might do it today, but this is the iClever Smart AC Power Plug, and there are 2 of them in here. Now, iClever sent these to me, and I get a lot of requests all the time for this type of thing where people are like, hey, do you want to do a video on our product? And 9 times out of 10, probably more than that, I just, say no, and I delete their email. Because usually the products don't pertain to tech at all. But this device, this iClever device, it's funny. They emailed me with perfect timing, because who would have ever known about iClever, right? But they emailed me literally like a day after I had just bought one of their USB, or I just received one of their like USB charging hubs. Like you plug it into the wall and plug a bunch of USB devices into it to charge. And so I knew their name. And so they wrote to me and I was like, oh my gosh, I just bought one of your products. And this thing looked interesting to me. I have not tried it yet. It's been sitting on my desk in front of me here for literally a month. And yeah, so I will do a video on this. I think it's kind of in the same vein as what you're talking about. But this is the iClever ICBS08 Smart Wi-Fi plug. So I will do a video review of this coming up soon, but it has not been top of my priority list. Someone says, I bought an iClever outdoor smart plug for my Christmas lights. It works great. Yeah, I like iClever devices. So, a lot of these companies that are sort of the cheaper, manufacturer companies out there, they kind of have junk a lot of the times. This one, the iClever stuff I have found to be pretty nice, which is why I actually accepted their offer to send me a pair of these. So I've got a pair of these sitting in this box, and I will get around to reviewing those pretty soon. I didn't put them on my list here because I haven't reviewed them yet. I haven't even taken them out of the box. So, all right. Nils G, any more info on your solar panel setup? Interesting how it works now when it's pitch black most of the day. Yeah, how it works now is that it doesn't. This time of year, that solar setup is pretty worthless. I have it set up in Zabbix. If you guys have, where's my Zabbix server? See if I can log into Zabbix. Zabbix? Do I have Zabbix? Where's my, I don't remember where my Zabbix server is. I have it on an IP address somewhere. Zabbix. Setup. Welcome to Zabbix setup. Uh-oh. Oh, did I like reboot it? Look, I've got Zabbix setup and monitoring, but it's like going through the initial setup of Zabbix right now. So I don't know if like something's goofy. I'm gonna have to go back and check on it. But I had both of my nano stations. Oh, you guys can't see this screen. I had both of my nano stations hooked up in Zabbix, and it was monitoring them so that I could see when the solar side of the nano station was up or down, and it would show me a nice graphical, in a graphical format when that was happening. But yeah, apparently my Zabbix is not working anymore, or it got reset. Maybe it upgraded or something. I don't know. I gotta figure out. I'll go back and figure this out. But yeah. Okay, so let's see what else. Hey Chris, I saw your video on the DS218. Thanks. I'm thinking about that versus a self-build NAS. How loud is the DS218? Is the back fan running continuously? Would it be okay in the living room? Yeah, I think that it would be okay in the living room. As for how loud it is, I've got it right here. It's loud. It's not loud at all. Where's my little device? Here we go. So, ambient noise in this room is 43 dB. The back of the Synology is 47 dB. Okay, so super quiet. I don't even know if you guys can see that. No, you can't see the screen from that far away. But it's 47 dB, so it puts out about 3 dB additional noise in the room. It's nothing. Now, when the hard drives are writing, you're going to hear the hard drives writing inside the drive, which is going to be a little bit louder than just the fan blowing. But there you have it. So it's really quiet. Okay, Sonoff is enabled switch. Okay, I have Sonoff. They're about $5 and they work well with app or integrated with Alexa or Google. Okay, so more positive notes for the Sonoff. Daniel Wright says, our church has a parsonage that is about 50 to 60 feet from the corner of the church. What wireless solution would you suggest to share the gigabit network with the parsonage? Well, first I'd have to know what a parsonage is. What's a parsonage? Is that like an outbuilding of some sort? Has a parsonage about 50, 60 feet from the corner of the church. So if you're just talking about like some sort of outbuilding or something like that, 50 to 60 feet, you could do almost anything, especially if it's clear line of sight, like a parsonage is where the pastor lives. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Sorry. Okay, so if there's a little house outside, 50, 60 feet, and you got clear line of sight, there's a couple of really good options. You can just do a pair of like NanoStation 5AC locos, which would be fine. Or you could do the MikroTik wireless wire. I think the correct pronunciation is MikroTik, although I always say MikroTik. So let's see, MikroTik wireless wire. And I did a review of this not that long ago. But this is going to have zero interference because the wireless wire operates in the 60 gigahertz spectrum. And so literally there's going to be nothing else in the area that is going to interfere with this. And if you're that close together, it's literally like a wireless wire. It does full gigabit across, I think it's full duplex full gigabit. Yeah, 1 gigabit full duplex link. And it's up to 200 meters. Or so. So 50, 60 feet certainly falls within that range. Oh, here, let me put this on the screen. There we go. Wireless wire, MikroTik wireless wire. And I think a pair of these is like $179, $179 or so. So it's really pretty cost effective and it comes out of the box like set up. All you got to do is just plug it in and set the IP address to the same IP address of your network. And then that's it. You're basically good to go. Okay, let's see. So someone else confirms that they've got a DS918 Plus in their living room. They can't hear it at all. And yeah, NanoStation, that would be the other option, would be like a NanoStation AC. Like the NanoStation AC would be awesome. Vladimir, you did not miss a Yubikey presentation, but I think the consensus is that I should buy a Yubikey and do a video on it. So I will probably be doing that. Maybe I'll ask them if they'll just send me some. That'd be awesome. Hey Chris, would you do a video on setting up multiple access points Unify setup video? I've done a ton of videos where we set up multiple access points. I'm trying to think of one offhand. Like, a good example would be our San Francisco Conference Center setup video where we did like 11 UAP-AC HDs. That would be a good one. Chris, I'm convinced that you and James Neal, hockey player, are the same person. I've never seen you and he in the same place at the same time. Change my mind. Yeah, if I meet him, I will take a picture and we will change your mind. I don't know I'm not familiar with that person. Let's take a look at what they look like. Let's see what you think I look like. All right, let's see. James Neal. All right, James Neal, images. Really? This guy? Huh. All right, I guess I could see some resemblance. Huh. What do you guys think? Can I do a side-by-side? No, I can't do a side-by-side. What do you guys think? Can I do this goofy grin like this? Does it look like I'm the same person? I guarantee you he's much more athletic than I am. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, look, hey, he's got sort of the same scruff going on that I do. Anyways, that's funny. Pretty close to the same eye color, too. It actually looks, yeah, doesn't look exact, but, pretty close. All right, I'll keep an eye out for that. In fact, I'll tweet him and tell him that we need to get together for a photo. Okay, let's see what else we have here in the comments. Wow, similar issue for our church at an EDU building or educational building. We'll have to look at the wireless wire. Glad you asked. Yeah, and by the way, I did a video on the wireless wire with Brandon, who is sitting here in the comments. So if you guys go back and check that video, you can see all about it. We did that video. Funny story about the wireless wire video is that we did that video in about 45 minutes. Because it was while we were in Los Angeles doing the Community Broadband Project video. The guys at the LA Community Broadband Project had a wireless wire in the box that they hadn't opened up yet. And I was just like, this thing's amazing. Let's try to set it up and test it out. They're like, yeah, go ahead. And so, but we had to leave in like an hour. So we had like 45 minutes to set it up, learn about it, shoot the video, and then get it all back in the box and put away. So we pulled it off, but it was very, very rushed, that video. So Andy Marston says he's probably paid more than you as well. I have no doubt of that. I'm sure he is. Okay, so Chris, I have a campus Wi-Fi project with some UAP AC pros, and I want radius authentication with G Suite for educational emails or education emails. I have a cloud key in the LAN and nothing else. Any tips? I guess my tip would be, if you're going to be doing radius authentication with Unify, I probably wouldn't rely on the built-in radius of the cloud key. I would probably fire up your own radius authentication server and use that rather than what's built into the cloud key. And keep in mind, though, that I'm saying that I've never worked with the radius in the cloud key. In fact, I'm not familiar really with radius at all. I've never worked with that technology myself personally. So I would have to go through the learning curve to figure it out. It just seems to me that for a campus environment where you will potentially have multi-hundreds of people that need to authenticate, the cloud key is probably not the right device for that. Even though it can technically do it, you'd probably want your own standalone radius authentication server. Let me know in the comments, though, right here, if you guys agree or disagree with me on that statement, because I'd be curious to hear your thoughts about that. Okay, so let's see. Chris, another question from me. Blagomir, once again. I will be architecting a network for high school with about 400 to 500 students. They need 15 access points across the school. Would you suggest Nano HD or AC stations? So for a deployment like that, and I assume that a lot of the access points, if you have access points in classrooms, then I would probably go with either a UAP AC Pro, or I would go with the UAP in-wall AC Pro for the classrooms. For common areas where people are going to be congregating, I would recommend the HD. So like the auditorium, the cafeteria, places where you could potentially have 200 plus people connecting within, a 4-hour period. That is what I would recommend for that type of setup. What's the best app to know how far to place the UAP? The best app is Unify. So if you go into Unify, use the mapping tool, and you can drag and drop access points onto the map, and it'll show you the radius, the coverage radius of the Unify access point. Another option, actually, that I just bought is called NetSpot. So if you go back, again, that San Francisco Conference Center video, we were using NetSpot to, let me pull it up on the screen, netspot.com. We were using NetSpot to, it's netspot.app.com. NetSpot app. Sorry, you guys can't see me screwing up my typing here. I'll bring it up in just a second. Here we go, netspot.app.com. So this is a tool that we use when we are doing Wi-Fi mapping for clients. Okay, I just bought it myself. I don't go out to the client sites and do the Wi-Fi mapping typically, but I know Dave Barger has this. Brandon, who's also in the chat, he might have this as well. But this allows you to upload a map, and then you walk around to different points. So you walk to this point, you run a test. You walk to this point, you run a test. You walk to this point, you run a test. And basically, you map out the wireless coverage over a given area, and it shows you a ton of different ways to look at the wireless, including signal strength, noise interference, etc. And yeah, just a really, really cool tool. And it is $150 for the Pro version, which gets you 50 zones and 50 snapshots, 500 data points per zone. They also have a free version if you're just looking to do it at home or something. So I would say NetSpot and that's of course if you have the access points and you're actually just moving around and playing with them, or just use Unify for that. Okay, Morgan says, has Unify fixed or workaround with the SSL cert issue in the 5.9.29 controller? That's funny, I'm not on 5.9.29 yet, or I have done 5.9.29, but I don't have any in production, so I don't have any that have certs on them. I'm not familiar with what that issue is. So I can't tell you if it's been fixed or not. Also, as a side note, I use a Yubikey for my controller in the AWS cloud and love it. Okay, well, there you go. More thumbs up for the Yubikey. I'm glad I found that product. I'm definitely going to check it out. Okay, Apex says, agree about Radius Server, as I've done something similar years ago. The cloud-based key just gets bogged down and ends up causing you headaches, etc., than just going with a dedicated server. Okay, so there you go. So second my opinion on that. Apex, right there. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Okay, so Chad says, yeah, I picked up a UAP AC Lite, USG, and Switch 25 250 watt, Switch 24 250 watt, I think you mean. I want to say thanks for all the videos. I definitely tried to get everything off your Amazon links. Well, thanks, Chad, for that. I appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. In fact, I am due for a new Switch myself. I think today, after this live stream, I'm going to buy myself a Unify Switch 24 250 watt because I have a 24-port light that you guys can't see. It's just off the side here. There we go. See this 24-port light edge switch that I've got right here? It's really weird. It's got the same problem that I had with my US 8 150 watt. I don't know if this is like a known problem, but it works fine, as in it's switching, and I can go into the interface and configure it, but there's no lights. There's no link lights. There's no activity lights on the front. So I don't know, have you guys run into that problem? This is the second Ubiquiti switch in 2 months that has gone out on me like this. My US 8 150 watt just straight up died, and so I bought another one. You can see the box right there. And then this Edge Switch 24 Lite, it's working fine. I've even factory reset it. I've rebooted it, everything. It's just the lights don't work anymore. So super frustrating. I'm going to have to, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to get that figured out. And I think I'm just going to buy a Unify Switch 24 250 watt instead. Because this one doesn't have PoE, and I'd like to have a bigger PoE switch in this area, because I do a lot of camera setups and stuff. Okay, so love the content you have. Chad King, thank you, Chad. Love the content you have made for me. Made me a solid UBNT user, both personally and for the municipality that I work for. Awesome. Keep it up, man. Unify is good stuff. If you're setting up Wi-Fi with 200 plus potential access from students, what would you set the DHCP lease time to? Okay, that's a really great question. What do you set the DHCP lease time when you have that many people? Well, first of all, you can't have... If you're doing 200 plus people that are potentially going to connect, you want to set the DHCP lease time relatively low. So I would probably set it at 4 hours. And you also want to have bigger than a Class C network for DHCP, right? So you're going to want to hand out maybe like a slash, well, I'm going to go the wrong way with the numbering, like a /21 perhaps, which I believe is 3 Class C subnets. That's probably what I would set up, and then just make almost the full /21 your clients for that network. All right, Steve, let me roll it. Okay, so let me get back up here. You guys are typing too fast. Okay, so any giveaway? No giveaway today. Sorry, no giveaway on this live stream. I do have some giveaways coming up, though, in the very near future that you guys are going to love. Okay, so stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed already. And there we go. So Steve Trauba, is that how you say that, Steve? In answer to Alun's question, Looked at jumpcloud.com for Radius Auth along with other identity management features. Can help manage G Suite and Radius users in one console. Pretty cool solution. All right, so there you go. Recommendation for jumpcloud.com. I've never used them. I don't know who they are, but there's a recommendation for you. All right, Jason McMurray Films. Chris, first, thanks for the videos. Question, if I may. Hotel setup, 9 UAP-AC Pro and 1 USG Pro, running the latest firmwares and noticing on a few of the AP a high retry rate. Any thoughts? So yeah, basically, if it's a hotel with 9 UAP-AC Pros, you might have them a little too close together and there might be some interference. So what I would recommend in that case, you guys see my Ethereum sweater, by the way? You guys like that? This sweater is worth a lot less this year than it was last year. Anyways, if you're going to be at a hotel environment and you have a lot of retries, you're probably just getting some interference. So number one, use something like NetSpot. Go around and find, map the whole, go to every floor of that hotel, up and down the hallway, and run your NetSpot test and get a good map of the Wi-Fi as it is today, or use the mapping and Unify controller. And what you probably need to do is tune down some of the access points. So you probably have them a little too dense. Like 9 access points for a hotel is quite a bit, unless it's like a super, super big hotel. Because, the access points are omnidirectional. So keep in mind that they'll go to the next floor up, they'll go to the next floor down. So you want to make sure that there's no interference with the channels that they are set on, up and down, right? 3D chess style, up and down all throughout the hotel, and then lengthwise as well. And like I said, go through and just map it out with something like NetSpot, and usually it will become pretty apparent where the problems lie. Okay, what's that phone to your left? Looks like a Cisco to me. No, this is a Sangoma. It's a Sangoma S705. It's my daily driver phone. Okay. I subscribe to LastPass Premium, which works with a Yubikey, and yes, buy a pair. Oh, okay. So I have LastPass Premium works with a. What do I have? I have LastPass. I use LastPass, but I'm not sure if I'm on Premium or not. I do pay for it, so maybe that is the Premium one. I don't know. I'd have to go look at that. But I'll get that Yubikey and I'll test it out with LastPass as well. I'm actually really glad to hear that it works with LastPass. All right, Reginald, I have an Edge Switch 24-port 500 watt, no problems. Yeah, I know. I've never had a problem with it. I've had this switch sitting here for years, and it just recently had this problem. So, do you have a video or recommendation on setting up a VLAN for isolating IoT devices into their own segment? Well, I have a number of VLAN videos. If you just search YouTube Crosstalk VLAN, you'll find a bunch of my VLAN videos. But I don't have any videos for Unify that are specific to IoT networks. However, Dave Barger, one of our guys that works for Crosstalk, did a video on segmenting IoT devices in an edge router. Okay, so that is possible. It's a little bit different, but yeah, there you go. Apex says, stupid question, did lights just burn out? No, not probable, but could happen. Maybe, but it would have to have been all of them at once, and there's 2 lights, ports 17 and ports 20 are solid on, and there's no lights at all the rest of the entire switch. That's it. So again, really weird problem. I'm just gonna get rid of it, and I'll use it as like a dumb switch when I need it as a spare. But I'm just actually gonna toss it and buy a Unify switch, 24 250 watt. All right, Larry Baxter says, I just had to expand our church's Wi-Fi and got a Unify USG to replace our cruddy Comcast router. Key trick for having about 400 people is to have a larger subnet. Chose /21 as well. Huge help. Yes, definitely. And then again, if you have people that are only going to be there for an hour or two, it's 4-hour DHCP lease time. That's usually my default DHCP lease time for like restaurants. I don't go more than 4 hours DHCP lease time for a restaurant. Oh, Steve Traba says, just like trauma, take out the M and put in a B. So trauma, traba. Okay, there you go. Okay, sounds good. Thank you much. And hello from Klamath Falls. Oh, Klamath Falls. That's not too far from me. All right, Bill Mack says, hello, Chris. On an EdgeRouter Pro 8, can a surveillance NVR be used on a VLAN and still be able to view the NVR locally and remotely? Absolutely. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. In fact, most surveillance systems that we deploy are on their own separate VLAN, whether it's Unify or EdgeRouter or any other type of device that supports VLANs. It's actually a best practice to segregate surveillance systems into their own VLAN. Why no content filter in the USG? Great question. I don't have an answer for you. I saw your mic set up briefly on the pan. Is that a Blue Yeti on a shock mount? Your audio is good. Yes, it is. So you called that exactly right. This is a Blue Yeti. And it is on a probably like a $20 Amazon shock mount that is connected to my desk. Good eye. Okay, have you reflashed firmware? Yes, I'm on the latest version of firmware on that switch. Can you not claim the warranty on those switches? No, it is past the 1-year warranty at this point. I've had that switch in place for over 2 years. All right, so Adam Maxwell, my church is going to start hosting their own website. We have a USG Pro, and the security features on the USG Pro good enough, or should we invest into another hardware platform? It depends on what you want to do. If your features or if your network is very vanilla, then the USG Pro is going to work absolutely fine. It does everything that you want it to do. It'll do VLANs, you can do guest networks, you know, all that sort of good stuff. Everything that you want to do, you can do in that USG Pro. If you are looking to do content filtering and stuff like that, where you basically want it to function as like a proxy server, something like that, or like, you know, network-wide virus detection, malware detection, that sort of stuff, it does not do that stuff. So really it depends on what your needs are. If you don't have a need for that kind of stuff, then yeah, then you should be fine. Is the /21 network in the 192.168 range? It can be, absolutely. So you guys, best thing to do is look up a subnet calculator. We'll show you right here. So online IP subnet calculator, subnet-calculator.com. This is the one that I use because it's literally the one that pops up first in search results. Anytime I need a subnet calculator, I just type subnet calculator in Google and it pops right up. So here's where you can say, let's see, class C, mask bits. Let's see, is it going to be a class B then with mask bits 21? Yeah. So 21, you could do like a 192.168.128.1. Okay, and so then you've got, oh, it's more subnets than I thought. So this, a /21 would be 192.168.128.1 through 192.168.135.254. Okay, let me zoom that in so you guys can actually see it. So that's how you can do that. That's 2,046 hosts on a /21 subnet. And it's a /21 because you got a /24 for hosts, and then you're borrowing 3 spaces, /24, /23, /22, /21. Okay, so you see that? That's how you're doing the math there. So here's your subnet, here's the network, here's your subnet bits, here's your host bits. Okay, so when you're going down the chain, 24, 23, 22, 21, you are borrowing from the third octet. You are borrowing spaces from the third octet there. So a /21 is 3 host spaces here and 8 host spaces in the final octet. If you guys watch my or Kevin Hauser's videos that are on my channel for the basics, he did a big video on subnet masking, and that is where he explains a lot of this sort of stuff. Okay. Larry Baxter says, LOL, I just bought that mount. It's the only reason I know. And then he goes to answer Reginald's question. Okay. Can you assign ports in the in-wall models? Great question. And as a matter of fact, I do not know. I have not played with the in-wall models yet, the latest in-wall models. I'm going to try to get one, though, because there seems to be a lot of demand for videos on the in-wall Pro. So I want to get my hands on one of those and do a video on it, because lots of people have been asking about that. Any talk of a doorbell cam from Unify? I haven't heard anything. The only doorbell cams that I have reviewed are from Axis, and they're absolutely spectacular equipment, but they're really pricey. If you're a business, it's fine, but for home use, there's better alternatives. So many Chrome tabs. Do you have 64 gigs of RAM? Do I? How much RAM do I have? Let me look it up. I think I have 64 gigs. Let's see. How do you find that? Oh yeah, right click on PC properties. Here we go. Let's go back to this view. There we go. 64. Where's the RAM? Oh, I have 32 gigs. No, I only have 32 gigs of RAM. 32 gigs of RAM, Core i7 8700, 3.7 gigahertz, 82 gig of RAM. Okay, so let's see. Big tip, we had many users unable to get the internet, yet they could visit sites like Google. Turns out our DHCP range for IPv4 was blowing out. Yeah, so basically what happened, Larry, was that IPv6 was working and IPv4 was not working, right? Have you ever heard of an issue where EdgeSwitch 48 PoE power supply fails? Any suggestions for a power supply replacement? No, I don't know. I mean, if it's under warranty, obviously just have the whole thing fixed from Yubikey, but if it's not under warranty, that's the nice thing about Yubikey stuff is that it's good equipment, but like any equipment, it is going to fail occasionally. And so then it's inexpensive enough that you can just buy another one. In fact, when I do large deployments where there's a lot of switches being purchased and we're up against any competing quotes like Cisco or Aruba or HP, that sort of stuff, we always recommend just buy a spare and have a spare sitting on the shelf ready to go if you need it. And our cost on Yubikey equipment plus the spares is usually cheaper than the quote unquote enterprise providers. Okay, so Jason McMurray says, let me go back a bit. We're looking to get 100 unified G3 cameras. How many NVRs should we use? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, how many locations are those, those G3 cameras? If you're talking about the Yubikey NVR, that's rough because the Yubikey NVR is like 10 cameras max per NVR. Then you've got the Unify application server, which is more powerful. It's got a really nice CPU and a good amount of RAM in it, so it can handle a number of cameras. I don't know if it can do 100 cameras, but it could probably do 40, 50 cameras. The problem with the Unify application server is that it only comes with a RAID 1 set of 2 terabyte hard drives, which you can replace, but even if you replace them with like 10 terabyte hard drives, that's still not nearly enough space for the type of retention time that most people want with that many cameras. So if you were going to do 100 unified G3 cameras and you were going to split it up into 2 or 3 NVRs, I would recommend building your own NVR or buy a crosstalk NVR. We sell those as well. All right, so Jason McMurray says, feeling on Captive Portal. Guest Wi-Fi is open with Captive Portal active, but some devices have difficulty launching the portal window on connection. Yes. I have found the same to be true with Unify. I do not use Captive Portal with Unify, period, end of story. It does not work well, in my opinion. So there you have it. If I was going to do a Captive Portal and it was like a hotel environment, I would probably use Ruckus. Okay, Ruckus is going to be rock solid. It's also going to be easily 3 times as expensive. Does USG 3 provide enough security for a home network, or would it be an idea to add firewall for some additional security? So, how do you say that? Kajartan? So the USG 3 is a firewall, so you don't need a separate firewall if you have a USG 3. It would be perfectly fine for a home environment. In fact, as you guys can see, that's exactly what I use in my home environment. Okay, so I have a home business environment, and that's what I use. Okay, Larry Baxter says, with Chris's help and videos, I just figured out how to put the guest traffic on its own VLAN. I do have a guest VLAN, guest Wi-Fi VLAN video that actually a lot of people do seem to find useful. We use guest policy, but not guest portal, just a WPA password posted in the lobby. And that's usually what I recommend to people if they're going with Unify, is just have a WPA secured guest network. It's not that big a deal especially if like you're a hotel or something, to, you know, when you give them their key, it shows the Wi-Fi password on the key handout or something like that, right? So what type of device do you recommend for content filtering that is compatible with Unify? I would recommend something like OpenDNS. Let's see, opendns.com. There are a number of similar type of services out there, but OpenDNS basically allows you to set your DNS servers to their DNS servers, and their DNS servers do the filtering for you. So yeah, I would recommend something like this in a Unify world. The catch is when you use OpenDNS, you have to use firewall rules to prevent users from entering their own DNS servers, right? So you basically only allow UDP port 53 when it's destined for the OpenDNS DNS servers. Does that make sense? Okay. There are other services too. There are plenty of this type of DNS services. OpenDNS is the only one that I know off the top of my head. I've actually never used them though, just to be fully transparent. I just know there's services like that. Okay, let's see. I would build your own NVR. I would too. Will you be able to build a controller NVR combo like the CloudKey Gen 2 Plus? Will you be able to build a controller/NVR combo? Yes. So the crosstalk NVRs, in fact, I'll pull that up here. Crosstalksolutions.com, solutions, crosstalk NVR solutions. So let's look at the NVR 20, for instance, right? So this can very easily be your NVR for up to probably 40 to 50 cameras. Again, depending on drive space and retention, but it can also be a Unify controller. So we don't do that a lot, but we've done it a handful of times where we sell one of these and the customer also wants it to be Unify. It absolutely works that way. No problem whatsoever. What's our time? How long have I been doing this? Hour and 22 minutes. All right, so I'm going to go to an hour and a half. That's 8 more minutes, guys, because I can start feeling it in my voice when I'm talking too much. Okay, so let's see. Nils, yes, I did one hotel video with a captive portal. You're exactly right. If you remember in that video, the captive portal did not work very well when I was trying to do it hosted, so I switched to a cloud key. It worked a little bit better on the cloud key, but I don't know how that worked in production because I did that whole video. I packaged all that stuff together. I sent it to the client, and then the client to this day has still never implemented what I sent them. So I can't tell you if it's working or not. Okay, so let's see. Does the Facebook portal solve the guest Wi-Fi issue if you don't want to do a password? Well, honestly, that's a good question. I've never tested it for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't use Facebook. And number 2, I've never done the Facebook authentication. Although I think other content creators out there have done videos on the Facebook integration. I don't recall off the top of my head, but I think so. I think other people have done that on that video. Good question on DNS filtering. Do you add a firewall rule in the USG to lock it down? Oops, you're answering that as I type. Yes, Larry, that's exactly right. Any ways to use DPI to look for adult traffic, by the way? So DPI for adult traffic is not going to work that well because most traffic on the internet these days is HTTPS, right? So you're not going to be able to see what they're surfing unless there are some insecure elements on the HTTPS web page that they're surfing. So by and large, you can't really tell. Unless you're using a proxy server, you can't usually tell what people are going to. Someone says Pi-hole for DNS. Pi-hole works okay for DNS. It's not as easy to use as something like OpenDNS, though. Okay, so let's see. What's written on your jamper? What's a jamper? Tell me what a jamper is, Merlogic, and I will tell you what's written on it. Do you know a good utility to export alerts or report data from the USG Pro? That's a good question. No, I don't. That's a question, though, that you can probably put into the Yubikey forums, and someone might have an answer for you on that. Okay, Reginald says, I'm looking at changing drives on my RAID. So on one drive and set up rest of the drives, probably Skyhawk 2 terabyte RAID 2. Okay. DB Renaud says IPS IDS suggestion for home SMB. Okay, so great question. Again, I'm not the best person to ask about this because I don't do firewalls on a regular basis. I'm mostly in the Yubikey world and they don't have that stuff, and I haven't tested every firewall that's out there. That being said, I believe pfSense does all of that, and I believe if you go back, look at so Tom Lawrence Tech just did a video on the Untangle firewall, and it was really impressive. If you guys go check out his video, it's like a half-hour overview of Untangle. Now, that's a paid firewall. You got to pay for licenses for Untangle. The licenses aren't that bad, but it should. But that would be a really, really great option for a home user or SMB. Let me know what you guys think about Untangle firewall. Oh, there you go. What's written on your sweater? Oh, Ethereum. There you go. Is that a jamper? Is that what a jamper is called? I've never heard it. I've never heard a jamper. Do you prefer edge switch versus unify switch in heavy VoIP environments? I don't have opinion one way or the other. They both work fine. Voice over IP traffic is really light on a network, guys. There's not a lot. Voice over IP traffic is 80 kbps per concurrent call. Most any switch in the world, especially a gigabit switch, is going to handle that just fine. Okay, well, guys, it's been almost an hour and a half. I am going to call it for this video. So thank you guys all for your questions. Thanks for watching the holiday gift guide for 2018. Links to all of the stuff that I recommended down in the description below. And yeah, I hope you guys, it's plenty of time, by the way, to order anything now. That's why I'm doing this video now, 3 weeks ahead of the holidays, is because you got plenty of time to order stuff and get it delivered in time for Christmas or New Year's or whatever you happen to be celebrating, right? So yeah. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please click subscribe. My name is Chris with Crosstalk Solutions, and thank you guys all for joining me on the Holiday Gift Guide 2018 live stream. All right. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye now.